when Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas got secretly married in Vegas? I do. It was 2016. Daniel was back at it again with the white vans. Beyonce dropped Lemonade. The Chainsmokers got a Grammy nomination with Halsey. And 27-year-old Joe Jonas finally slid into the DMs of 20-year-old Sophie Turner after months of their friends trying to introduce them. Joe just happened to be touring in the UK at the time and invited the young actress to pop on by. Sparks flew. After being spotted at the 2016 MTV Music Awards together that November, sources confirmed that December that the pair were dating after Joe flew out to London to meet Sophie's family. They said he was playing the field, but he really likes her and is willing to settle down for her. The two rang in 2017 together by going Insta official with Sophie posting Joe to the grid. Now, despite posting Joe to the grid, the two kept their cards close to their chests, with Sophie finally revealing that July that she was in a very private relationship while not naming names. But we all knew who it was. That May they arrived at the Met separately but attended the after party together. Then, on October 15th, after a year of dating, the pair revealed that Joe had asked for Sophie's hand in marriage. A month later, they celebrated their impending nuptials by throwing an engagement party with all their friends. In May of 2018, Joe got this tattoo, and then Sophie was seen oot in a boot with a very similar tattoo. Even though they had been engaged for a year, they didn't make the relationship red carpet official until that October when they attended Paris Fashion Week together. That December, Nick got married to Priyanka, and Sophie and Joe were obviously in attendance. In March of 2019, Sophie told Glamour UK that she was happier with her life because Joe was in it, saying, "A lot of my happiness now is to do with being with a person I've fallen in love with who loves me more than he loves himself and who wants to see me find my own happiness. That was probably the biggest thing that pushed me to find who I am and find my happiness in other things than acting." She also said regarding the age difference, the fact that she was 23 and Joe was coming up on 30, that I think that once you've found the right person, you just know. I feel like I'm much older a soul than I am in age. I feel like I've lived enough life to know. I've met enough guys to know. I've met enough girls to know. I don't feel 22. I feel like 27, 28. As someone who was once 23 and is now management, I can safely say that you have not lived enough life at 23 to be making these types of statements. Also, this is foreshadowing, but let's continue. On May 1st, 2019, just hours after the Billboard Music Awards, the couple had a spur-of-the-moment wedding at a little white wedding chapel, which Diplo live-streamed. The couple exchanged vows over a pair of ring pops. They had to get legally married in the States before their planned destination wedding and thought getting together a bunch of their friends and getting hitched in Vegas would be totally fun. It is fun. I'm not throwing shade at that part. Then, on June 19th, they got married again, this time in France, where Sophie traded in her ring pop for stacked diamond eternity bands. That January, they hit the Grammys together. Look how Joe's not wearing lifts. Does someone want to show this to Keith Urban? Then, the following month, news leaked that the couple were expecting their first collab. By the time the pair emerged from quarantine that May, Sophie was visibly up the spout. 2 months later, on July 22nd, they welcomed baby Willa to the Jonas fam. That October, Joe made another trip to the tattoo shop. This time he got Sophie's face in a keyhole on the back of his neck. Sophie also added to her tattoo collection, getting a W for Willa to go with the J she had for Joe. In April of 2021, Sophie shared a story praising Taylor Swift's newly released Fearless Taylor's version, which featured the vault track Mr. Perfectly Fine, which was about Sophie's husband, Joe, who famously dated Taylor back in 2008 and broke up with her over the phone. In March of 2022, a source close to the couple revealed that they were expanding their family again. Their collaboration was confirmed on the first Monday in May when the pair arrived at the Met Gala together, this time with a noticeable third wheel. Sophie also revealed that she was missing her home in the UK and would love to have her daughter have the same kind of education that she had had in England. That July, Willa became a big sister and celebrated her birth month with her new baby sister, Delphine. 2 months later, they traveled to Canada to attend the premiere of Joe's movie Devotion at TIFF, and of course they attended Paris Fashion Week that October. On January 30th, 2023, the Jonas Brothers received their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame with their wives by their sides. That March, Sophie and Joe attended the Vanity Fair Oscars party together, and then that August, Sophie attended the Jonas Brothers Yankee Stadium concert wearing a Mr. Perfectly Fine bracelet, which might have been a sign of what was to come, as less than 1 month later, news broke that Sophie and Joe were donezo. A source revealed that Joe had been in consult with at least 2 LA area divorce attorneys and was looking to file for divorce. Sources also reported that Mr. Perfectly Fine had not been wearing his wedding band for months, which Joe responded to the following day by posting this photo with his wedding band clearly visible. Fans were like, "See, everything's fine. Look at Joe putting the rumors to rest." Until the following day, of course, when the court filing for the dissolution of his marriage was obtained by media outlets. After 4 wonderful years of marriage, we have mutually decided to amicably end our marriage. There are many speculative narratives as to why, but truly this is a united decision, and we sincerely hope that everyone can respect our wishes for privacy for us and our children. Sources claim that while they may not have been living separately, geographically, they had been living separate lives. And this is when everything started to really escalate. Rumors swirled that Sophie loved to party while Joe liked to stay home. The divorce was a last resort for Joe, who had tried to salvage the marriage, that Joe hadn't been as supportive of Sophie after she had their second daughter, and oh, don't forget the Ring camera footage. Cryptic reports claim that Joe had seen Sophie say or do something on this Ring camera that made him realize that their marriage was over, which, of course, was left to some pretty extreme interpretation. What was she doing on that Ring cam? A source revealed that Sophie had been caught saying some unkind things about her husband to a friend, nothing more, nothing less. This wasn't an Angelina situation. My Jersey Shore fans will understand that. Meanwhile, Sophie is being painted as this party animal, negligent mother in the media, something that was being pinned on Joe's PR team, while he was being painted as the perfect doting father. Sources came out to counter these claims about Sophie, saying that Sophie was the one who liked staying home and that Joe had forced her to go out shortly after giving birth when she wasn't ready. By September 21st, Sophie was filing her own documents claiming that Joe was illegally keeping her children from her and withholding their passports so that she couldn't take them back home with her to the UK. She also claimed that they had made England their permanent home in April of that year, but that she had recalled then that they had actually agreed that the girls would stay in the US with Joe while she was filming her movie in the UK, but would join her on the 19th of September. Sophie filed a wrongful retention suit against Joe for keeping their children from traveling to the UK. Then a new bombshell entered the villa when it was revealed that Joe had filed for divorce on the 1st and that Sophie didn't find out until September 5th through the media. That had to make Taylor feel like a little bit better about the phone call breakup. They continued to go back and forth about who would get the kids and where they'd be raised and what they had agreed upon, and we learned that Sophie had actually been aware of the divorce before it hit the media. The following month, instead of celebrating what would have been their 7th anniversary together, they went into mediation to figure out their custody situation. They did have a prenup, so that part was dealt with at least. In January 2024, Sophie's wrongful retention lawsuit against Joe was dismissed. By March, the couple had failed to mediate their way into a settlement, and Sophie requested to reactivate the divorce proceedings and impose a court-ordered settlement. Joe's rep was like, psh, things are still amicable. This is just a formality, right? It wouldn't be until September of 2024 that the pair would reportedly finalize their divorce a year after the initial filing. Sophie has since relocated back to the UK and says that she always felt like her life was on pause until she returned to London. And while the media circus around the split was beyond intense, the pair seemed to have found their rhythm with co-parenting to the point where Sophie showed her support for Joe's solo efforts this past May, and Joe praised Sophie in the media, saying, "My little ones have some incredible women to look up to, including their mom." Bing, bing, bong. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this one. If you did, please save it and share with your friends. It really does help spread the good word of the cult. We love indoctrination here. And don't forget to follow over on the gram, the tube of the U, just in case. Good day, and may the cult be with you.